Now, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was on the Daily Show with Trevor Noah, and it was actually quite shocking. Obviously, I don't watch that show. Nobody else does either, but it was quite shocking. We want to give a hat tip to our buddy Brian at Right Scoop. Listen to this. Cut 9, go.
If people pay their fair share, if corporations and the ultra-wealthy, for example, as Warren Buffett likes to say, if he paid as much as his secretary paid, 15%, if he paid a 15% tax rate, if...
Stop. I would kill to pay a 15% tax rate. My effective tax rate is 50%. She's a moron. I would kill to pay a 15% tax rate. Go ahead.
If we reverse the tax bill, but raised our corporate tax rate to 28%, which is not even as high as it was before. Right. If we do those two things and also close some of those loopholes, that's $2 trillion right there. That's $2 trillion in 10 years. And it's one of the wide estimates is that it's going to take $3 to $4 trillion to transition us to a 100% renewable energy economy. So we got $2 trillion from folks paying their fair share, which they were not paying before the Trump tax bill. Right. They weren't paying that before the Trump tax bill. If we get people to pay their fair share, that's $2 trillion in 10 years. Now, if we implement a carbon tax on top of that, so that we can transition and financially incentivize people away from fossil fuels. If we implement a carbon tax, that's an additional amount of a large amount of revenue that we can have. And then the last key, which is extremely, extremely important, is reprioritization. Just last year, we gave the military a $700 billion budget increase, which they didn't even ask for. They're like, we don't want another fighter jet. They're like, don't give us another nuclear bomb. You know? They didn't even ask for it, and we gave it to them. And so a lot of what we need to do is reprioritize what we want to accomplish as a nation. And really what this is about is saying healthcare is important enough for us to put first. Education is important enough for us to put first. And that is a decision that requires political and moral courage from both parts of the aisle, period.
Let me say one thing that's very positive coming out of her comments. If you are a complete idiot, you can get elected to Congress too. Rambling on. If this young lady was sitting in your high school political science, social studies, history, current events class, whatever you want to call it, you'd be rolling your eyes. The stupidity, the confusion is just alarming. Absolutely alarming. And they push her out there. Now, Mr. Producer, I want us to try again. We've tried to get her on the radio show, correct? My guys have tried to get her on LEVIN TV. My other guys have tried to get her on Life, Liberty, and LEVIN. She won't come on. Just be very polite. Say, hey, look, he wants to have a serious discussion with you about democratic socialism versus republicanism, little r, and capitalism. That he, that is I, believe is far more compassionate and humane than democratic socialism. And we can do this for a whole hour. I'll have her on for the entire hour. Let's give it another shot, okay? I'm quite serious about this, folks. And I won't, I mean, it'll be tough. I won't be snarky or sarcastic or won't talk down to her. I say, it'll be tough, but keep it at a very high level and let's get at it. Same with Bernie Sanders, her mentor. How many times have we asked his office to come on this show? Repeatedly, right, Mr. Producer? What, do they just ignore you? Is that it? They don't even answer you. Yeah. Why, am I part of the proletariat or something? We've tried to get him on my Fox show. We've tried to get him on CRTV, on LEVIN TV. It just won't answer. Why do they hide from me? I'm just a stupid talk show host, just a right-wing conspiracy kook, you know. But I want to talk to them about their philosopher kings, about Hegel, Marx, and Engels. I want to talk to them about their views on government, their views on public policy. I want to talk to them about the Constitution and whether or not they support it, and the wording in the Declaration, what they think about it. How hard can this be? I'll talk to them about all the big taxes. We can talk about taxing the rich, the top 1%, free college, free health care, free this, free that. I don't know why. They don't want to talk to me. Be more than happy to talk to them. In fact, Bernie Sanders can even go on and on about tariffs. I'm happy to talk about that, as you well know, folks. Sure, we'll talk about tariffs. Whatever he wants. The future of the Democrat Party, ladies and gentlemen, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. She got 17,000 votes. That's something, give or take. In a Democrat primary where almost nobody showed up, in a district that was increasingly Latino, and the world is supposed to change. I say good. Keep her out there. Keep her out there. And let us help. Thanks to our friends at Campus Reform, here's the, as Mr. Producer puts it, the dumbest 3 minutes, probably in broadcasting history. A montage from Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Cut 10, go.
Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, just elected, 28 years old, self-proclaimed Democratic Socialist, which has a lot of people talking. What are your views on her so far?
I've heard only positive things. We love her.
Yeah, we do love her. I voted for her because I'm from Queens.
It was great. It's a breath of fresh air, and I hope it follows through into November.
I like her spirit, and that she's very different.
People tend to freak out when they hear the word socialism, applied to anything.
And why do you think that is?
I think there's this old way of thinking about it.
What do you think the government should be subsidizing? So her platform includes free health care, college tuition, the minimum living wage, housing as a human right. Are those things that you think the government should be providing for people?
Absolutely.
Are those things that you would support?
Yes, it is.
Are those all things that you would support the government subsidizing?
100%.
I feel like everyone should have free education and health care.
How are we going to pay for those?
Oh, God.
Us,
I guess.
Yeah. Who, in your mind, should pay for all of the free things?
All the free things? Well, some of it should come from taxes, but the government should pay for it.
But the government is funded by taxes.
Yeah.
I don't know where the money would come from, but they can figure it out.
Okay. More taxes on the rich people.
Yeah, for sure, man. They can afford it.
Tax corporations, let's tax the 1% and find a way to support a living wage.
The people with a good idea and a good reason to spend their tax money wouldn't mind actually paying more taxes.
There are so many of these countries out there that are employing a lot more socialism in their government and into their politics, and they're doing really well. So,
is Venezuela doing that?
Ooh, I don't know too much about Venezuela, honey. I think they need to... are they still communist right now?
They're technically socialist.
Okay.
I don't know, honey.
Look at other countries. It works. Other countries, you pay higher taxes, but your government takes care of you.
So when you see the social system failing in Venezuela, does that concern you?
Yes.
Obviously.
My family's Cuban, and I've seen the downfall of extreme leftism. But also, I see how it, boosts the community, and, it has its up and downs, and I think we can definitely learn from history on that terms.
Okay.
Our country needs change, and if it has to be on the opposite side, on the extreme polar opposite side, maybe it's what we need.
Privatized healthcare is a huge issue, and if it was a government-funded thing, that would be, when there aren't...
Do you think the government would run it more efficiently?
In a perfect world, sure.
I'm liberal. I don't know exactly where I'd stand, but I know Democratic Socialist is better than conservative. It's just better than, it's the better option.
In what way?
When I think of it, I just think of more open-minded people that aren't as economically conserved.
Well, there you go. It goes on and on and on. Sarah, Forest, Texas, the great WBAP. Go.
Hi, Mark. I'm so honored to talk to you. I was just telling the phone screener that I'm also 28, and I am just appalled by this Andrea Ocasio-Cortez.
Alexandra.
What was that?
Alexandra.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm just appalled that my generation, they think that socialism is okay and it's what we want. Obviously they're very uninformed.
Well, let me say this. Everyone in your generation doesn't, but too many do.
Right.
But too many do. And I can already tell in 3 sentences, you're 10 times smarter than she is.
Well, thank you. That means a lot coming from you, Mr. Levin.
But don't run in her district because you would lose. Now, what does that tell you? It tells you the left like hearing about democratic socialism, and there are people in the Democrat Party who truly do support it.
It's terrifying. So
it is terrifying.
Yeah.
All right, Sarah, thank you for your call. It is terrifying. But we had a real debate on that, too, but one debate at a time, because I don't think the left can handle too many. We'll be right back.